Oh, how excited I am. It's the first time in a year and a half that I'm going out with Nalubaale. Last year I was sick and had to stay on land, but now is the time and I'm going out again. And not only that, it's Pentecost! Pentecost Saturday, and as tradition has it in our sailing club, there's a Pentecost gathering somewhere in a nearby harbor. This year it's in Holbæk. That means my trip goes out of Roskilde Fjord into Isefjord and then down to Holbæk, where I'll be spending a really wonderful weekend with the guys from the sailing club. Oh, I can't wait! How excited I am. It's such a wonderful feeling to be out on the water again. So, even though I have to admit I'm motoring a bit for the first 83 nautical miles, the wind is coming straight at the bow, and I just don't feel like tacking right now, especially when we get to Kolhuserenden. And, well, it's not very pleasant to tack in Kolhuserenden, so I've decided that I'll just motor through Roskilde Fjord. And as soon as I've passed Kolhuserenden and turned southwest toward Holbæk, well then I'll set sail, turn off the engine, and enjoy the trip. Lovely. Pretty well through Kolhuserenden, with one exception. In the middle of Kolhuserenden, exactly in the middle, at the narrowest point, I got a motor alarm. The engine got a bit too hot, but I also have to admit maybe I pushed the throttle a bit too much. I was almost at full throttle the whole time. But I was so happy that I could sail with the engine at 6.5, almost 6.8 knots. So, but when the alarm started beeping, I throttled down and continued sailing at 3 to 3.5 knots. So that was just fine. Yes. And then on the way to Linus, to the island of Linus, I set the sails, and the expectation was that I could turn off the engine and just cruise down to Holbæk. But that cruising, yeah, it was more of a wish than a cruise because the wind was gone. Without wind, well, there's not much you can do with the sails up there, but it's not really working out. So I still have to chug along with both the sails and the engine. The engine is at half power, and right now we're sailing at a modest 3.5 to 3.7 knots. Yeah, that's how it is.
I hope I can turn off the engine soon when the wind comes back, but, well, that's just how sailing life is.
And that's not the case over here. So I'm hoping for the best and enjoying it. I truly think it was a necessary decision to make. Something's not right with the engine. We have absolutely no wind, so I'm running on the engine the whole time, and as soon as I give it more than 25% throttle, the alarm panel starts and blares loudly. So that's not so good, and I'm also not getting any speed. I mean, even under engine power, I can't get above 2.8 knots. Well, then I'll never make it to Holbach, so I've been sitting here thinking about it. I didn't really know what to do, but now I've made the decision that it won't be Holbach today. I've just turned around and set course north again, so we'll see. Perhaps I will arrive at the charming town of Lynas and comfortably spend the entire night there, or depending on the prevailing wind conditions, I might simply sail directly back home to Frederiksværk. My final destination, well, the first disappointment is not making it to Holbach. Strangely enough, the wind has completely died down here in Isefjord and absolutely no wind up here towards Lynas. Suddenly there's wind, and as I speak, we're sailing completely without the engine at 4.2 knots. I wasn't going that fast down there, so that's great. So no, it didn't end up being Holbach, but now I have clear weather ahead. Maybe it'll be Lynas, Hundested, or Nykøbing. I'm planning to dock tonight, so maybe it'll be Frederiksværk, who knows? So the engine is off, I'm under sail. Life is good. Yes, and exactly 3/4 of an hour before reaching home port, the rain starts and it really pours down properly. Luckily, I brought my rain gear, so that's no problem, but I'm getting the full experience of it. What a lovely, lovely sail this is. I love it. I have to admit, I didn't quite make it all the way to Holbach. To be honest, I've ended up spending the night in my home port here in Fredericksfark, but still, it was totally fine. It was great. I've been out on the water for 9 hours, sailed 26 nautical miles, and oh yes, I've had everything. I've had wind, I've had no wind, I've had sun, no sun, rain, no rain. The whole range was on the agenda, and it was just great. After a year and a half on land, it was exactly what I needed. Yeah, it was a bit of a shame that I didn't make it to Holbach and couldn't be with my buddies from the sailing club, but, well, that's just how life is sometimes. And about the engine, yeah, it's a pity, but that's something the engine guy will have to look at. I've always had that problem when I get up into the higher RPMs, then the engine gets too hot and I have to reduce the engine output down to 25%. But then I don't have enough propulsion, so I just chug along at 2.5 knots, and that wasn't really good enough either. But on the way back, I remembered that the impeller was supposed to be changed a year or two ago, but that didn't happen because now it's just sitting on land. And I have to admit, I've forgotten about it until now. So, but I'll call on Monday. No, on Tuesday, after Pentecost, I'll call the engine guy, and then I hope we'll get it sorted out as soon as possible. Yes. And now I'm sitting here with this video, exactly this video you've just watched, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching it as much as I have over the past 9 hours. And if that's the case, I would be super, super happy and very glad if you leave a thumbs up, or even better, subscribe to the whole channel. So in that sense, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.